Good evening, everybody. I have I have a story. I bet you can guess what it's about. Mermaids, my favorite thing. So I have found a filter that makes me look like a mermaid so that I can read this story. So here it is. The story is called The Mermaid and the Shoe, and it is by K.G. Campbell. King Neptune had 50 daughters. Some might call them mermaids. They were his pride and joy. Cleo, the king would boast, is a gifted gardener. Thetis is a fantastic fish trainer. Calypso sings with silvery moonlight in her voice. Each princess, it seemed, was more remarkable than the last. Except Minnow. Minnow's garden was limp and sparse. Fish did not follow her instructions. In her voice there was no light of any kind. She did, however, ask many, many questions. Why, she asked Cleo, don't crabs have fins? Where, she asked Thetis, do the bubbles go? And what, she asked Calypso, lies beyond the kingdom? Stop asking useless questions, Calypso replied, and be remarkable like the rest of us. What are you even here for? Minnow wasn't sure. Useless, hissed Calypso. Her sisters can be mean that way. And quietly Minnow slipped away to float alone where the current was warm and pleasant. There, one day, something new drifted into Minnow's life. She couldn't imagine what it was for, but it was the loveliest thing she had ever seen. What is this? Minnow asked Cleo. Perhaps, said her sister, it's a hat. But the thing was a poor fit, and it was not at all flattering. What is this? She asked Thetis. Perhaps, said her sister, it's a jewelry box. But the thing was wobbly, and it spilled pearls all over Minnow's grotto. What is this? She asked Calypso. Questions, questions, snapped her sister. It's junk, useless, like you. This thing, insisted Minnow, was made with care. It has a purpose, and I will discover it. So off she set into the warm current from whence the thing had come. In the forest she passed an octopus. What is this? She asked, but the octopus just shrugged. In the shallows she happened upon a whale. What is this? She asked. I swallowed one of those once, said the whale. Yuck. Near the surface she passed some crabs. What is this? She asked them. Eek! Don't eat us! Shrieked the startled crabs, scuttling along the rocky shore. Aha, thought Minnow, who wasn't even very hungry. That is why they don't have fins. But she was running out of creatures to question. She arrived at the edge of the kingdom where the bubbles burst and the above place began. What a wondrous world, gasped Minnow, eyes wide as sand dollars. Overhead were curious fish that made an awful racket. The coral was dull like seaweed, and the seaweed was brilliant like coral. Nearby stood a huge shell with a door, but there was nothing like the lovely thing, and no one to tell her what it was. For Minnow could journey no farther. Disappointed, she turned to leave. I'm afraid, she told the thing, that we are useless after all. Suddenly, an odd creature burst from the shell. It was half mermaid, but it had 2 octopus legs, and on those legs was a pair of the lovely things. Don't get your shoes wet, yelled a voice from the door. So the landmaid removed them, and Minnow finally knew exactly what the lovely things were for. Concealed within was another set of hands. But so ugly, she gasped, so knobby and gnarled and smelly. Bursting with news, Minnow returned home as fast as her tail could carry her. Excitedly, she urged the entire court to gather round and listen. She told them why crabs don't have fins. She told them of the place beyond the kingdom where the bubbles went. She told them of the noisy fish and the giant shell homes. She told them of the landmaid and of the shoes and the monstrous leg hands that that they were made to hide. When she was done, Calypso rolled her eyes. What, she scoffed, that is a useless story. But King Neptune beamed and hugged his smallest child. My Minnow, he boasted to the entire kingdom, is a daring explorer. And everyone except Calypso clapped with their hands, fins, and tentacles in agreement. Will you tell us more? They cried. That, said Minnow, is what I am here for. And she recounted her adventures until the starfish came out and the anemones fell asleep. And that's the end of the story. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you later. Thanks.